All right, so we have section 4.5. We are going to be multiplying polynomials. In the last section, 4.4, we added and subtracted, and now we are going to multiply. There are various ways of setting up multiplying polynomials. I'm going to show you a couple ways and then tell you it doesn't matter which method you use. Although when I do videos, I'm going to choose one method that I think works probably the best for the most number of students. All right. So let's suppose we start out with a monomial and we want to multiply by a polynomial, aka a trinomial. So, and remember, monomial means we have one term, trinomial means we have three terms. So when it's a monomial times a polynomial, we distribute. So we're going to multiply our 2x to the fourth times our 3x squared, and our 2x to the fourth times our 2x, and our 2x to the fourth times our -5. Okay, so remember when we multiply, we're going to multiply the coefficients, which is going to be 6, and we add the exponents when we multiply. So add the exponents, we have 6x to the 6 plus 2 times 2 is 4. I've got 4 x's multiplied, one more x being multiplied, so altogether I have 5 x's being multiplied. 2 times 5 is 10, x to the fourth. But most of the time when we say multiplying polynomials, we're not talking about monomials. So I am going to show you, like I said, a couple different methods for multiplying. There are others that I'm actually not going to show you. One method that I'm not going to show you is where we take each one and multiply, and then multiply, and then multiply. So regardless of how we set it up, every term in this polynomial has to multiply every term in that polynomial. So I'm going to show you a way to set it up so that you don't forget to multiply some of the terms. So my favorite method for students to use, actually I use this method for myself when I want to multiply two trinomials together. I set up a box. So this has 3 terms, so I need 3 columns, and one for each of the terms. So I need 1 column for each of the terms. And then this one also has 3 terms, so I need 1 row for each of the terms in the second polynomial. By the way, it doesn't matter whether we put the first polynomial along the top or along the side. It's personal preference. It doesn't matter. You're going to get the same answer regardless. Now, the way we do this, or the how people came up with this idea was they actually came up with the idea for area. So let's suppose I have a rectangle, and this side is going to be 4 plus 2 units long, or altogether it's going to be 6 units long. And this side is going to be, let's do 3 plus 1, or the side is going to be 24. So we've got this rectangle that is 6 units by 4 units, which you guys know the area would, you multiply the 6 times 4, you get 24. But there is actually another way of finding the area. So if I divide it up into these different sections, I can find the area of this section, which is 12, and the area of this section would be 6. The area of this section would be 4, and the area of this section would be 2. When I add all of these up, guess what I'm going to get? I'm going to get 24. 12 plus, well, actually, it's easier to start with the 4 and 6. 6 and 4 is 10, plus 12 is 22, plus 2 is 24. So when I want to multiply this side by this side, I can actually break it up into pieces and then add up the pieces. That's what we're doing over here. If I want to multiply this side by this side, I just multiply the individual pieces and then add them up. So I'm going to multiply the 2m squared times the m cubed, which will give me 2m. Remember to add the exponents, 2m to the 5th. Now I'm going to multiply my 2m squared times my negative 2m, which gives me negative 4. Add the exponents, and 2m squared. Same thing for the next row. I'm going to take 4m and multiply it times m cubed. So I'm going to add the exponents. Negative 8, add the exponents, and 4m. And multiply, and multiply, and multiply. Okay? Once I've filled in each of these pieces, then I'm going to combine like terms. So I've got 2m to the 5th, and so I've got that one. And I've got a 4m to the 4th. Okay. And I've got an negative 4m cubed and a positive 3m cubed. So altogether, I have negative 1m cubed. That's those. My m squareds, I have negative 6 of them. I've got negative 2m and 3. So it would give you the same answer if you were to multiply like this, but it's organized better when you multiply using this method, and you're less likely to miss a term. Okay, so it's easier, and in fact, I do it myself. I use this method to multiply when I have two trinomials I don't want to multiply. So this is a good method. I like this method. Another method is multiplying vertically. This works. It's not my favorite, but it does work. When you multiply vertically, it would be just like multiplying a two-digit number. You guys remember doing that? You take your 4 and multiply times your 5, and then your 4, and then your 3, and then you take your 1 and multiply times the 5, and the 4, and the 3, right? Same idea. We're going to multiply 4 times our negative 5, gives us negative 20. 4, and we've got 16x, and then 4 times, it's a positive 16x, 4 times 3x squared gives me 12x squared. And then I'm going to multiply the x's, the x times the negative 5, and I'm going to line it up with my x so that I can combine it. X times 4x squared, or times 4x, sorry, will give me 4x squared, and x, and that's positive. X times 3x squared gives me 3x cubed. Then I'm going to add these together. Plus 11x minus 20. Nothing wrong with this method, perfectly fine. You can use this method if you choose. It's typically not the one that I show when I'm doing these lectures, but if you would like to use it, that's perfectly fine. All right, so we are going to multiply, but this time we've got a trinomial and this is a binomial. So what we're going to do, we're going to draw our box, and I need 3 columns. And I need 2 rows. Okay, so same idea, we're going to multiply these two together, and I want to remind you that when we multiply a fraction times a whole number, we divide by the bottom and multiply the top. So my coefficient is going to give me 1. 1/5 of 5 is going to give me 1. And then x squared times x cubed gives me, remember you add the exponents. So we're going to, let's do the variable first. And then worry about the coefficient, doesn't matter. So we have 1/5 times a negative 10, right? 1/5 times negative 10. Divide by the bottom, you get -2, multiply the top. And we have 20, divide by the bottom, and multiply the top. Same idea. We're going to divide by the bottom, multiply the top. Divide by the bottom, multiply the top. Divide by the bottom, multiply the top. And, oops, that's 4. 4, sorry. Divide by the bottom, we get 4, times the top is 8. Okay. Then we are going to combine like terms. So we have an x to the 5th, and that gets that one. And we have a -2x to the 4th. That takes care of that one. I've got a 2x cubed. These are going to cancel out. Of +4 plus a -4 is 0. And we have 8. And I think that was the last one I wanted to do in this video. I just want to make sure that it's not a super long video. So stop the video here.